Hello and welcome to Millennial Moms Unfiltered. Today we're going to be talking about manifestation and spirituality. There we go. So without further ado, let's get into it. Alright, so I feel like me and Brittany are both pretty, what is even the word? Like, not spiritual, but like, people would look at us and think like...
We're basic bitches.
Okay, fine.
We love crystals and tarot and the moon and astrology, and we find comfort in those things. Other people might think that they're ridiculous, but
weird and woo-woo.
Weird and
woo-woo. But yeah, in 2024, it's pretty basic. I feel like most people, to some degree, either follow astrology and those kind of things, like human design. I feel like it's pretty mainstream at this point. But
human design,
10 years ago,
we're going to talk about that, because I feel like we can go into that later more deep, because I feel like people don't really know what human design is, so it's pretty cool.
Yeah, but I bet you in the next, 3 years,
oh yeah, huge,
it's going to happen.
Does Gio think you're crazy? Or does he?
I think he used to, until he realized that I actually do make things happen. Like, I told him, this is where I tell everybody to start with manifesting, is no matter how small the changes you see on the floor, pick it up and thank the universe for it, but actually feel grateful for it. He started doing that, and within a year he got 3 raises and a promotion.
Mm-hmm.
That was the first year of us living together, and I was like...
Told you. So this is going to sound really... I don't even know what the word is. I guess snobby. It's not a snobby thing. Like when I would clean up, I would just throw away change because it used to irritate me.
I used to do that too. I would be overwhelmed.
I would just throw it away because we have ADHD, and all the if it was too much change, I would just toss it, or if it was cruddy, I would toss it. And now every time I find any sort of change, I thank the universe, thank you, more please, and I put it in either me and Pat have a jar, or the kids each have piggy banks, and I'll put it in one of ours, wherever's closest. But same. I used to do the same thing. I just throw them away. And I'm like, I'm just throwing away money. That's not a way to tell the universe that you're grateful.
You want more, right? So whatever you show that you want, or whatever energy you're giving, is what you're going to get more of. So when people... The universe doesn't understand words, so words are almost not important. It's the energy you're giving. So when you have a goal and you look at it every day, oh my God, I want this, and you're looking and you're looking and you're looking, and you have anxiety around it, you're not necessarily calling in that goal. You could be pushing it further away. So you have to act like it's already yours and that it's attainable, because that's what you're going to get. So if you are looking to buy a house and you're just like, oh, they're selling so fast, or look at the prices of these houses, oh my God, is it going to be mine? Is it going to be mine? Is it this one? You're putting anxiety into the universe, and you're not going to be rewarded in the way that you want to. Manifesting is claiming it, knowing it's yours, knowing
showing you're grateful for it.
Right. And you're willing to accept and ready to accept more, and the universe will feel that and reward you in that way.
People think, I say that we manifested our house for sure. When we started the buying process, Killian was a newborn. It was 2020. We had both been on unemployment for a year, almost a year, because Pat was laid off and couldn't find work steadily enough. We were accepting unemployment checks. We had a brand new baby and a 2-year-old. We had nothing saved for a down payment. And I was looking at houses, and I had a realtor and I had a mortgage broker, and everyone's like, what are you doing? And I was like, I'm taking the steps necessary to prove that I am ready for this next thing. And we got approved, and Pat got a job, and I think he was on unemployment for 7 months. I think he had that 7 month gap, but because he's in construction and because of the situation, it was a little more flexible. But I was just like, no, we're doing this. Pat was even getting I don't think we're ready for this. I'm like, no, yes, we are. And we started looking right away. We probably looked at 25 houses before we got this one.
And every time we've gone to look for houses, and we were never ready. Right? Not that we're not ready, financially we make more than enough in all of the things. It's just that what goes into owning a house, I've never been mentally there. I don't want to do it. So,
I own a house, and I'm there.
Even right now, I told Gio, he's anxious to start looking again. I'm just I don't want to do it.
Yeah. I'll say if you have the space, apartment living is way easier.
Yeah,
I hate the maintenance
we don't
of the
have
house.
the space. We don't have the space, and the kids are getting older, so
Yeah.
we have to, and that's gonna be our next thing is start looking for houses again. But I told him I need the second to get my mind there, or I'm gonna sabotage it like unintentionally.
Yeah.
But I manifested where we are now, and my pregnancy with Eamon. When I first started coaching with my Instagram business, that's when I started getting into manifesting and really like understanding and learning how to apply it to my life. So I would journal, and I would write like it was already mine. So I would be like, I'm sitting at my desk in this and blah blah blah, and this is what it looks like, and I have this in my successful coaching business. And at this point, I was not selling programs. It was not going well. I was just like, wasting a whole bunch of time doing it. Not wasting, but learning. And I said, I'm pregnant with my third baby, and it's all going so good, blah, 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 all the things. And I meant to bring my journal today to show you guys the note that I wrote. And then 2 months later, we found this apartment, which was bigger. It was the space that we needed. It had exactly where I wanted to put my desk, what I was envisioning.
Yeah.
And then guess what? 2 months later, guess who's pregnant, bitch? Me, after trying for 1 month. And people are like, yeah, but you did those things to make that happen.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the point of manifesting. People have the thought.
You can't just manifest and like.
People think that manifesting is like, I'm gonna be a millionaire, and then you like go to Taco Bell and sit on the couch and watch TV. That's not what it is.
No. What are the steps you're gonna take to be a millionaire?
Right.
Because you have to have a plan in place. Like even if
it's improbable. Even if the plan is improbable in the direction that you want to go into, is like most people don't make it this way. Because you're putting the energy out there that it's already yours and it's for you, you'll be one of the ones that make it. If you truly believe that. But you can't say, well, let's see if this is going to work. And the universe feels that energy.
It can't be wishy-washy.
Right.
You have to be very intentional. I feel like I manifested my pregnancy with Maeve too, because we had gotten married. I'd gotten a journal. It's a planner. I cannot remember the name of it, but it was the first time I'd ever gotten a planner that had like writing prompts. I don't think that I was ever aware of my manifesting. I think I always just kind of did it. I always just like...
That's almost better because you don't have that pressure.
Yeah, I always just kind of like, I would set intentions and I would just like do it, but I would never necessarily write them down. I wouldn't say like, oh, I'm manifesting XYZ. I would just like, this is what I'm gonna do, and I would almost always do it. Like the studio, the house, my pregnancy with Maeve, like all of that was definitely like, I made it a point to say out loud, at least to someone, that it was gonna happen. And but my journal was the first journal I'd ever gotten that was a planner, and it had little prompts, and it had like your year-end goals, and I wrote in the back of it that I wanted to be at least pregnant by September of 2018, which would have been almost a full year after. It would have been a full year since we got married, and I had her by September. I got pregnant 2 months after we got married.
Wow.
So she was already a year by that date, which was crazy.
I know. I manifest things like, even just silly things. Like when we were in Puerto Rico, I saw a pack of horses. I don't know if you call it a pack of horses, a herd of horses. I don't know, just like freely like running.
I don't know what it's called.
Isn't it? They just like they run through the streets,
Pack
and I was
of
just
horses.
like, wow, that's so cool. And I was like, I'm gonna get one of those horses. And then I was like, it's gonna be white and it's gonna have brown spots. And I like had this whole thing. I'm like, I'm gonna just be riding it through the streets. Well, little did I know that Gio planned a horse riding trip for our anniversary, and we pull up, and I see the horse I was envisioning, and I'm like,
That's my horse.
that's gonna be my horse. So then when we're signing the paperwork and stuff, and I'm like, which horse am I gonna ride? And she's like, that one's yours right there. Guess what? It was the same horse I described. It really was. And I was like, damn, like, that was so...
Do your manifestations surprise you sometimes? Or like shock you?
Yeah, but like growing up, I was always I thought I would call it intuitive. Like I could read people. I was good at reading people.
Yes.
But like I could call the future. Like if I didn't fuck with somebody, if I just met you and I don't know, I just felt like something was gonna happen. And I've done this with Gio's friends several times. Mm-hmm. Like I just don't like that person. I don't like that person. And he used to be really like,
defensive.
What do you mean? We've been friends forever. It's just you. You're being crazy. But how many times I called the situation before it happened, and I used to just stare.
Like,
and he's like, that's some witch shit. lo and behold, it is actually some witch shit, and I am pretty witchy. I have very deep connection to the universe, and I always have my whole life before I realized what it was.
I agree. I wish I had it with me. My mom gave it to me the night. She found me in my preschool picture, like preschool school picture, I'm wearing a purple amethyst on my neck that was wrapped in wire and was on a purple rope necklace that my dad made for me. We went to the crystal store on Thayer Street. I don't know if it was like a long ass time ago. I was 4 in this picture. And I picked out an amethyst and he wrapped it in wire for me and I wore it and I had it on in that picture and she found it yesterday, like Thursday, and she showed me and she was like, look what Rara found. I was like, that was mine! Like I was witchy even before. Like I had my amethyst.
So I feel like a lot of people that are more spiritual versus organized religious have similar backstories to this. So I wanted to touch on this. I did. I grew up very Catholic. We went to church every Sunday. I was in CCD, and we talked about this before that like I don't like working for other people because I ask a lot of questions. I need to know. I'm a knower. I need to understand it before I do it. Mm-hmm. So I got to an age where I was asking all these questions
in CCD.
And I was asking and the answer just was because that's how we do it, and I didn't like that.
No,
we didn't know why. It felt
she's questioning too much. She's not going to conform.
So I got kicked out of CCD, which was in my Portuguese religious household. I was the devil. They didn't like it. No. I was possessed, and it was a whole thing.
So
which that in itself I want to say is pretty witchy itself. I think organized religion is based on a lot of paganism and a lot of spiritual things that get called wrong but not wrong when we do it, you know?
Right.
And it doesn't vibe with me. I don't love organized religion. I mean, if you're super pro Jesus, go off, do you, but I think that there's a lot of aspects in it that are rooted in things that are covered up and pretend it's not ritualistic, and it is.
I have respect for people who have that religion. If like you find comfort and joy in that, fine, but I definitely don't like it being pushed on me, and I definitely don't like people using religion as like an excuse or a reason behind things, or let's just, I mean, we don't want to get political on here, like the religion behind the way our country is run, like that's pretty terrible.
Look at this rainy ass day that now the sun's coming out while we're talking about manifesting.
Yeah, that's right. We're getting like, I feel like
the
clouds are opening up.
If you're
and
watching
like brightening
this on YouTube,
us up.
I can't even see behind the camera right now, but you just
is really coming in. Sorry for all you listeners who aren't watching.
Maybe head
the
over
sun
to
just
YouTube
came
and check
in
it
for
out.
a second.
So totally joking, but also at the same time, I feel like where I grew up, like it was somewhere like in the middle of nowhere. Like
what city did you grow up in?
Cumberland.
Oh yeah.
Just like not. I don't mean like where physically, like state-wise, I grew up. I just mean like in my family and how things were. The things I'm curious about or was curious about, like I pull tarot cards all the time. I read oracle cards. I listen instead of just doing.
Were you the only one in your family though? Was everyone else like? Were you like the outcast as far as that was concerned? I mean, there's a lot of people in my family who are into it.
I was curious about it. It looked more dark than it was, but it's just I was curious about the dark side too because I'm a curious person. But now as an adult, understanding how to differentiate where the darkness comes in and it's not all darkness. That there is duality in a lot of things. I know that what I do it for and what I'm curious in is the lightness. It's not the dark stuff.
100%.
I think that there's a lot of things in manifesting and spells that can be for negative things, like anything, but that's not what I use it for, and that's not how I work. I don't do spells because yes, I do spells. Like, no, I'm not great at it.
I have a spell book. My mom got it.
I use manifesting. Cards. I don't do it for other people, and it's never for anything bad. I would never use the power I have to harm or cause harm. It's always for the greater good, and I say that even when I'm cleansing my home, release things, or negative energies.
You could cleanse my home?
Yeah, I need to.
I burned my hand last night while I was making cookies, and then I fucking bit my tongue, and it was bleeding. I was like, what is happening?
No, I think you need some, I bet you I'm gonna go home.
What is going on?
She has had some luck lately that is just unreal. And I bet you I'm gonna leave here and I'm gonna go home and something in my house is gonna go and I'm gonna have to, I bet you any money, there's something here that needs to like,
I don't know what it is, and I haven't smudged my whole house yet. I've burned sage and I've gone in some rooms, but I haven't done a full cleansing yet.
You need to.
I know.
Or it's probably something that's carrying energy. Now that I'm talking about it, I'm getting chills. But I'm not gonna fucking do this on camera. So,
I want to like hire someone to do it.
Yeah.
Wait, pause. So I was previously engaged before I met Pat.
As we talked about last week.
And I was living in my mom's, she has an in-law apartment at her house. So I was 23. I had just moved in there with my then fiance because we got engaged and we were going to live there until we could, until after the wedding. That was our plan. And my cousin came over. He lives on the West Coast now, but he came over and he smudged the whole house for us. He's super into that. And so he smudged my basement apartment. And like 3 days later, we broke up. I was like, he got rid of the evil.
The negative energy.
He got rid of the negative energy for me. Bye.
Do you see, like, things like that? It's like, you see those memes sometimes that it's like, I smudged the house and now my husband's acting weird.
The kids can't breathe because they're demons.
Yeah, and it's like, haha, funny. But like, in real life, it does work like that. Like, that if something, and it doesn't mean that he's a bad person. It just means that he wasn't in line with, right, he wasn't in line with what you needed on the path you needed to be. And I say all the time, and not all the time, but when it's brought up and when I really think about all of the negative things in my life, that I hurt a lot through, I grew a lot through, and even there's gonna be people out there that are really, really offended and think I'm the worst person, but the way my parents' deaths lined up with how me and Gio came together, without specifically the death of my mom, and my mom was like, I'm not gonna cry about it, but like, she was so much to me. Like, she was so much support and peace and comfort to me, and without her death, me and Gio, I don't think would have, the way everything lined up, I don't think that we would have ended up together. Yeah. So even in ugly times that are hard and feel horrible, I think that it all lines up with like who you're supposed to be, the path, the struggles, the things you're supposed to see to become your highest self. So when you're manifesting something for you to be higher, sometimes it feels like everything's crumbling around you, but that needs to happen for you to get what you're trying to get.
People get really bent out of shape, like bad things are happening. It's like, no, the universe is taking, like, if people are like, oh, well, I got into a fight with so-and-so, or I'm no longer speaking to this person, or I lost my job. It's like, no, that's good. That's the universe you're making room for the new stuff.
Like, and that's exactly what I'm talking about, is like, my roommate left, I had no money, I had lost my job the week before, my mom was in hospice, I had to pay for her funeral, thank God she had insurance for that helped me, without a job, be able to take care of certain living things, and then, you know, Gio was really, like, stepped up and was really supportive during that time. And at the end of all of that, like, just ugliness, he was like, maybe we should get a house together. Oh, you were thinking that too? Yeah, we should. Okay. And then that's how our life started. Yeah. And he was in the pits of hell with me and didn't judge me for me not knowing what the fuck to do, how chaotic I felt. And it really was just like a really bonding moment, and like for him to be in that place with me and not be like, oh, no.
Like, this is too much for me.
I'm ahead of it.
Was early on, right? It was super early.
The first like 4-ish months of us being exclusive. And by 8 months together, we moved in together. Yeah. And then the following month, pregnant with Eli. Wow. Yeah. So it was all really fast, but all
like your mom was for sure behind that.
Yeah. It was all.
Do you believe in that?
Meant to
be.
In
spirits and stuff?
100%. Okay. And I think that we all in some way can communicate. Yeah. and I think some of us are better at it than others.
I think that I get visits a lot in my dreams, because I will have the most random, like, specific dreams, and I don't get them a lot, and I don't always know how to, like,
channel it,
and I would love to, like, figure that out, because there's been 2 people that I've had dreams about, someone in their life that has passed that I wouldn't have come to me, right. But I, like, felt the need to just tell them, and they were like, oh my god, that was for sure so-and-so. I'll tell you one. It was a friend of mine, a really good friend, her dad passed away, and he was kind of, he was married to someone else in my family, so it was like, she and I met waitressing together, but then we found out that her dad was married to my cousin's in-laws, so they were at family functions together a lot, so, like, I kind of knew him, but, like, we weren't close. Anyway, he passed away last year, and I had a dream maybe 2 weeks later, after he passed, that he gave me his bucket. He gave me a bucket hat, like a fisherman bucket hat. And so I told my friend, I was like, here, I had a dream about your dad last night. It was so random. I was like, he gave me a bucket hat. She was like, he had a bucket hat. That was his favorite. And actually, she said me and my sisters all dressed up as a version of him for Halloween one year, and one of the sisters wore the bucket hat. And I got a dream where he was like giving me his bucket. I don't think he was giving it to me. I think it was more like a talk about this bucket hat to my daughter kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I had no idea. And she was like, oh, he definitely came to visit you. She's the one who said he came to visit you. And I was like, but why me? But probably so I would relay the message.
Right.
Which is so crazy.
And I have dreams like that too. And I can feel, like, when I'm awake, I don't see, I feel. And I just can describe what it makes me feel, and when I say it out loud to whoever it's for, it usually means something else. Like, I've done it with someone whose boyfriend had passed, and I was describing, like, what I was seeing and what I felt, and, like, she needed to move on because she was really, like, heavy about it. Like, we were supposed to do this and get married and buy a house and the kids, and now I'm starting all over again. And I'm like, I'm getting chills talking about it again. That's not what he wants for you. He doesn't want you to be hung up on his death. Like, yes, like, remember the good times and stuff, but don't hold on to all that. Like, he wants you to, like, be. And I'd never met this guy or whatever, but I, like, described, like, his smile was something that, like, everybody knew about. And, like, it was, like, he would light up a room, and that's what I was feeling, like, the warmth. Like, he's not mad. He doesn't want you to hold on to this and stuff. Like, I've done that before. And I don't know how I'm tapping in. I haven't, like, figured out how it works for me yet. But what I do know is that, like, I can't talk to my mom and dad. Like, I have someone in my family who is a medium, and she's like, your mom keeps getting upset that she can't talk to you. I'm here, why can't she feel me? Gio feels my mom. He dreams about her all the time.
That's crazy.
But, like, I can't, like, my dad will be in my dreams, but I can't hear what he wants to say. Like, it's too close to me, and I don't think I've properly, like, mourned their deaths yet.
Probably.
So I think I'm probably standing in my own way. But I don't even know where to start for that.
I've been to a medium.
But several times.
Anything
and card readings, and for them, no, I have a really hard time hearing from them. But for other people, like, I'll have dreams. Like, I reached out to an ex-boyfriend last year, and I was like, hey, you keep popping up in my dreams. This is probably weird, and you can have me go fuck off. But, like, be careful. I don't know why I'm saying that, but I'm feeling like...
Right. I've had those dreams.
You know? And
I've reached out to people. Like,
and it doesn't even make sense. Yeah, like, and we don't talk, we have no relationship, but I'm like, this keeps popping up, and I'm not dreaming about you for, like, any lusty reasons. Like, there's no reason that I would be dreaming about this person, but the dreams feel very specific, and they feel, like, cautionary. So I listen to myself, and I'm like, okay, in order to grow anywhere else or whatever, like, you have to honor the relationship you have with the universe and what's being called to you, and the more you do it, the more you know what's a sign versus not, you know?
It's hard because I always second guess everything. I'm like, is that a sign? Is this something that should be, like, recognized?
But then I just spoke too much
last night before bed, and my dreams were, like, a little bit weird.
I used to do that too, but then things would happen, and I'm like, fuck. If I would have just honored my intuition,
Yeah.
it would have been different. So that's when I stopped.
Do you feel like you're protected at all? Have you ever had those moments where like, oh shit, I should have just like died and I have all these angels? Because I've had that. I got into a pretty bad car accident that like I probably should have been crushed and I was not.
Nothing that intense, but I think that there's a lot of times that things could have ended up a lot worse than they actually were. And I walked away lucky.
The day after my 24th birthday, I was on my way home from work in Braintree, and I was on the Pawtucket S-curves coming from Boston.
Isn't that where it always is?
Pawtucket
I'm
S-curves,
just kidding.
right? It is. So I'm coming up. I was in the high-speed lane, and I'm coming up around the curve, the first curve, and I don't know what made me do it, but like, I like jerked the wheel. I feel like I saw something. I don't remember what it was. I wasn't even on my phone. I wasn't even touching the radio. Like, it was just, I jerked the wheel and I spun out. I completely crossed all 4 lanes of traffic, spun like one time, I think, and ended up against the guardrail facing the opposite direction. Not hit at 4 o'clock in the afternoon on a Friday.
Holy shit. And if you're not from Rhode Island and don't know the S-curves of Pawtucket, at 4 o'clock on a Friday, that's the kind of traffic that you're just like white knuckling the wheel because it's just ridiculous.
My mom was like, how did you not get hit? There was not even a scratch on, I mean there was a little scratch on the car from where I hit the guardrail, but like no damage. I was shaking.
Yeah, your spirit guide was definitely there.
I was like, oh. But that year I had lost 2 great-grandparents earlier that year, and my 2 grandparents I was very close to the year before. So I was like, oh my god, I had so many angels.
And so many people think that, like, your guardian angel is what, like, Catholicism, like, lights that as. But your spirit guides usually aren't people you know.
Yeah.
And you can... Okay, so this is how I found out who my spirit guide or one of my spirit guides was. And this was when I was really beginning to be heavy into oracle card readings and getting messages from the universe. It was my 30th birthday and I went to a Reiki session and had my cards. Reiki is like...
My mom does Reiki.
I know.
Really have her do it.
And I just like, I always want to like ask you for your mom's number.
Oh my god, she'd love that. Yes, you should.
Listen,
she loves you.
I need some Reiki. I need some Reiki. Have you noticed
she comments on your shit all the time? She's like, I love Ashley.
Sometimes I post things and then she'll like it and I'm like, oh fuck.
No, she loves you.
Okay, good.
She loves you so much.
I forget I have people's moms here.
She thinks you're hysterical.
Oh, good.
No, she loves it.
That's my dream in life, is to be hysterical. Like,
she loves it.
People to think
like, I will tell her something that you posted. She's like, oh, I know, I saw.
Okay, so good. So I will... Next time I need some Reiki, I know where to go.
Yeah, definitely. She has a table. You can either come to her house or she'll come to you.
Yeah, so that's what it was. So we had like a whole talk, and she said my dad was coming through. This was one of the first times. But this particular reading, I felt like, I'm not sure that was my dad. It didn't sound like words he would use, but it could also just be like how she connects to her spirit guides, how she relayed the message. But as I was laying on the table, I kept looking at the picture. I kept looking at this picture. And I felt called to it. And I'm like, who is that? And she's like, that's Mary Magdalene. She's really like about what today we would call female empowerment. Like, she's really like the feminine energy driving force.
I love that for you.
And so something she said, I remember being called to look at that. So then I was talking about like how I had just like really started trying to like understand oracle readings, and like I didn't know how to, connect with my spirit guides, and I looked it up online and things that you could do. So a couple of weeks after that experience, I was sitting there, and what you're supposed to do is like let go of the thoughts, give yourself a few minutes to let go of things from the outside. And I was like getting there deep in meditation, like there wasn't, and this happens to me very seldomly because ADHD, mom life, there's no quiet space in my home, so
we should have a drinking game every time one of us mentions ADHD during a podcast.
You'd be wrecked. So anyway, I was there, and you're supposed to like envision your safe space. You're supposed to feel warmth coming from you, and where are you? And I had this whole vision, and I saw a statue of Mary, but it didn't feel like Jesus's mother. And as me saying that, like, I don't love organized religion, when you interpret things, it's just
based on familiarity, I think.
Right, it's how you would perceive these things. So as I was coming out of this and where I was and how it felt, and I'm journaling it, I write down summer, like it felt like summer the word, and as I'm, like, summer the season, Summer, and as I'm reading it back, I only put one M, it was Sumer, and I'm like, why the fuck did I do that? So I Google.
Of course you
Sumer,
did.
the place. Yeah, but this is how I
but like
got
the fact
through.
that you got through it, like I would not. I think I would have like looked right past that. I don't know, like you fucking idiot. You were like, oh, this is a sign.
Guess where Mary Magdalene is from?
Sumer.
Right. I saw the statue of Mary, the colors, the rose.
fact that you knew to look that up.
The rose. I felt called to. I felt like I had to, and so I look up and described what she had. Guess who wears that? Guess what she's usually depicted as? Mary Magdalene is usually depicted with a rose. Her origins are from.
Cool.
So, and I'm getting chills now. So, and I haven't figured out really like how to connect with her like through dreams, but there were moments that it was like I felt validated in that she was trying to give me messages and channel messages that I should be getting for other people. Like, so that's the story about how I found out that Mary Magdalene is one of my spirit guides.
Archangel Michael came through for my Reiki, but
Yeah.
I don't remember what she said. To be honest, I don't remember it all. That was the last Reiki session I had. It wasn't with my mom. My mom's actually never done my Reiki by myself. Like,
really?
She's done distance Reiki on me, like when I've needed it, like from her house. I live down the street, so it's not that far.
Well, no, but you know what? I go on like reels, and I'll be like, take me for whatever, and I swear to God,
I think it works.
I think it is a thing. It's again behind intention and what you're trying to manifest and pull through for someone else, asking the universe for permission to do so. So it's like, yeah, that would cross.
That energy would come to you once you allow it. Because my mom always used to say, like, if I was talking to her about something, she'd be like, do you want me to send you Reiki? And I would say yes. And she's like, okay, let me know when you're ready because I need you to be, like, I need you to accept it.
Right.
So, like, I'd have to be, like, in a place where I was, like, ready to receive.
To accept it, yeah. And I think that people that say this stuff doesn't work, like my husband's cousin was there for that birthday thing. Everybody got Reiki, everybody did like a card reading, whatever they had. Gio had like the most intense session that he's ever had
for my 35th birthday.
It was really, really like a cool experience, and everybody got something out of it that it's not usually like their go-to thing or what they believe in, or regular practices or whatever, but it was like a really like transformative moment for a lot of us, and it was cool, and so I'm glad that I had that birthday, and then I came to like a new level of like where I was spiritually, and
I don't feel like I'm where I'm at spiritually. Like I feel like I think you do way more than I do, and I would like to do more. Like I don't pull my cards regularly. I go through periods.
Yeah, but that might not be your thing. That might not how you connect to.
No, but I do like doing it. I just haven't. I haven't been putting in the time and effort into the things into me. I haven't been filling my own cup. We'll talk about that in another episode. But like I haven't. I just haven't been doing the things to help me connect to like my spirituality lately. It's just been so chaotic, and
I think that it's normal for everything like that to like ebb and flow, and there's going to be peaks and valleys, and where it feels. I mean, I stepped away from it after that for a good while, and I'm just kind of really getting back into.
I would love to get more into it.
I'm recently getting into like moon cycles and like only cutting my hair on new moons, which yesterday was a new moon, and I'm gonna say that like it feels healthier.
I cut my hair last week too. I cut like an inch off at the beginning of the week, which it wasn't a new moon yet, but it was coming into a new moon. So that's funny that you said that. I also
like those kind of rituals, like renewing and purging my space and those kind of things.
Yeah.
And I do find that when I go against those things, that I'm like, oh shit, like that didn't work out the right way. So I really am trying to like honor certain things that I do to be in certain time frames.
Yeah.
And they do work out better.
Yeah. Do you follow, like, I feel like people don't talk about this enough, but women's bodies and our cycles generally, like there's times during your menstrual cycle that like there are certain points of the month that are better for you to do certain things just based on your energy levels and your body's ability to recover. Like you shouldn't be working out like
balls to the wall.
Balls to the wall,
so
the way people explain
for
to
me,
do it.
I tried to do that and honor my cycle and all of the things, but it doesn't. For me and how my ADHD works, again,
Routine is better.
It's too much variation.
Yeah.
Like, I like to switch it up within certain things. So what I do is like leading up to my cycle that week before is where I have like the least energy, and then like during my period, if I were to slow it down, like I almost feel more energized when I have my period.
People say
versus the week
you
before.
do have more energy.
So I just like right now I started a new fitness routine, and I like it's pre-written for you and stuff. So I will just like cut the weights or the reps or in some way modify it that way. So like if it's not feeling like a hell yes, it's not a complete no, but like I'm gonna do it because I know I'll feel better. But I just maybe won't push myself as hard versus taking time off or doing a different kind of workout, because I find that's I'll completely fall off track with my fitness routine, and I need that like mentally and just to feel good.
Yeah.
So I don't really too closely follow my cycle.
I haven't done it. I'm also not working out right now. I did just sign up for a class, but I haven't started. So I think that it may like, on paper or like reading it and like, oh, that makes a lot of sense, but I think it's really hard to implement.
At least for me. I think for some people it works
too.
really good, and that's when they really start seeing results and stuff, but I don't think that my cycle plays so much a role in like my energy levels. Like, I feel like
mine does.
Like that
For
week
sure.
before, like I'm super tired, but if I just like completely didn't work out, where in some places that they're like, just like really just about stretching, and it's just like I don't get anywhere, and I really feel more like shit that I didn't do my workout.
Yeah. So I don't have that problem. I'm like, put me on the couch all day and let me rest. That's all I want to do. As a projector, all I want to do is sleep.
And that's human design. I feel like human design needs to be like its own complete episode, and the only reason I even know what that is or know what I am is because of Brittany.
I love it. I'm obsessed.
And so now I pay more attention, but that's like a whole new thing, and I feel like I don't know enough to even really...
No, I think we'd have to like really do some more research in order to give like factual information. But do you feel aligned with your like zodiac sign? Do you feel very much in line with your like astrology?
You know what? Yeah, I do. And when they said that your zodiac sign might not be your zodiac sign because of the additional time frame and all that, like I was like really hurt by that.
You took it very personally.
Because I'm like, I am a Capricorn.
I'm a Taurus for sure.
I do all the things, and like like that's probably why like everyone in my life, like my sister's a Taurus, my husband's a Taurus, like me and Tauruses really just like
my mom's
vibe well together.
That's funny.
And it just everything really kind of just makes sense for me as a Capricorn. And
same.
And I was just talking, I saw someone post something on Facebook yesterday. And I was like, on all these lists, Capricorns are always like listed as like the worst person and fuck Caps. And then they said something about like that it was like they didn't get along with Capricorn men.
Yeah.
And I was
men have a lot, like the gender has a lot to do with it.
So maybe the Caps they're talking about are Capricorn men, because that might be like one of the least...
See, I don't get along with...
vibey people. Even as a Capricorn female, I don't usually like vibe well with Capricorn men. But as a Capricorn woman and the other Capricorn women I know, we really just like
I like Capricorns a lot.
set it off in different ways and areas. I feel like we really just get shit done. So I'm offended.
My mom is that person. Like she
when
just like
I see where like I'm like, if you would have a Capricorn on your side, the Capricorn women that I know, you would really, your life would be enhanced, not
100%. I've said to my mom all the time, like, how did you do it? Because like I feel some days with 2 kids, I'm older than she had me at 18. She had my brother and sister when she was 26. They're twins. I'm like, I know I'm older, but I'm not like old where I should be like worn out. Like, I am so exhausted. And I'm like, there are just some days where I'm just like, I can't do it. My mom I never saw her like exhausted. I never saw her not, like, it was just like, it needs to be done, so it's gonna get done. Where I'm just like, I don't want to do it.
Capricorns.
Like, Capricorns really do just like, they get shit done. Like, there's no question. Like, if it needs to be done, it gets done.
But we run ourselves into the ground, and
yes.
like, when we really do run ourselves into the ground, like, that's not, and that's what I'm trying to like work past right now. Like, I really like
saying no.
Yeah, and that's what keeps coming up.
Are you the caretaker? Like, are you always the one taking care of everybody?
Yeah, and I always feel like I'm also Captain Fix-A-Ho. Like, growing up, everybody that I dated, not that I came from the most, I don't want to say stable, because my parents never let me, like, have to take up on anything, you know, that, like, it wasn't the worst thing, but it's not like I came from the most, like, stable households, but you know, the men I would date, I don't think any of them, and you know what, I'm gonna say that none of them are living lives that I would be like wanting to be involved in or whatever, and you know, I really had to get rid of that kind of mindset that where like I was going to bring up anybody out of where they currently were. So, Gio, when we started dating, he was working a good job. He,
nothing to
like,
fix.
I mean, not nothing to fix, but as far as, like, someone that was going to, like, drink too much, hit me, put me in a situation I didn't want to be in, make me feel like shit about where I was at, like, it was that's not where we had issues, but it's, like, I help him in ways like, or elevate past certain roadblocks he has within himself to become better, not only as the main breadwinner in our household, but as a father, as a son. Like, we just like really vibe out and like balance each other in ways. So my Captain Save-A-Ho tendencies come through in ways for him that it's just like, I help be his soundboard and bounce back ideas where like he could, you know, just like come up in different other ways that like he wouldn't necessarily come up with on his own. And like, as a Capricorn male, he's a Taurus, sorry.
Oh, I thought you said he was a Capricorn.
No.
He's a Taurus?
He's a Taurus male. So like,
what's
he wants to, he's April 30th. Yeah. So, like, he wants to show up and do, and I'm like, yo, but, like, you're not gonna really, like, it's not gonna be the best thing for you, and, like, so we just, like, and so we leveled each other out in that way.
Pat's a Cancer, and I'm a Taurus, and we're, like, perfect match. I'm supposed to be with either a Cancer or a Capricorn, like, those are Taurus's 2 best, and, he's definitely, like, like, we vibe.
I just know, like, when I find out someone's a Taurus, I'm like, okay, well, you know what, that makes sense why I would feel like I want to hang out with you, because it's just always, like, I know Tauruses are usually, like, my safe zone, like, that's where I'm going to land.
Do you have any signs you don't like? Like, what's your favorite and your, like, least favorite to hang out with? Or that you've come across?
I feel like if I'm going to have an issue with anybody, it's going to be a,
Gemini. Or Virgo.
Well, Eli's a Gemini. And he is. It's hot and cold.
I hate the hot and cold. I feel like Geminis are so hard for me.
Sagittarius males. I don't get along with. I don't get along with
Virgo males.
And you know what? Yeah. I don't like men.
Any sign plus male, you're out.
I'm probably gonna have an issue with you. And you know what? Men don't typically like me, but Taurus men like me, and you know,
Gio likes me.
Yeah, but so I don't know. I mean, as far as like women's signs that I don't get along with or that I know I might potentially have a problem with, I don't know that there's necessarily a sign that I would be like.
I wouldn't write someone off because of their sign.
Right.
I've noticed that I tend to have issues with Geminis in general, men or women, because they're so hot and cold, and like you never know what you're gonna get, and like you just don't know how to be.
I'm gonna say I probably do have an issue.
I struggle with that a lot.
It's 100% for sure Sagittarius men, because there are Sagittarius women that I love and they really are just like,
yeah, I like Sagittarius women too.
do good things. Geminis in general, I feel like historically, I feel like I don't want to say that because Eli is a Gemini, but I'm also trying to like
I have my
not let those be like his like shine bright like a diamond qualities.
Yeah, both my kids are Leos. I'm fucked. They have the same birthday.
My best friend, I know, and you know what? Like, I just want to say, like, when you think that you might not be like the most like planny, or like you might not know what you're doing, you're just like, how do you get pregnant in a situation that you just like give birth to both of your children on the same day?
I was like, Pat, if we ever decided to have a third, we'd definitely have to like try and get pregnant
in a different.
No, I would say do it again. See if we can go 3 for 3.
No, come on. Because then, I'm gonna say, but though, like, you're not, it's probably not gonna work out in a way that you think it's going to, but then you're just, like, also going to give birth to someone that's, like, close enough that it's gonna be a pain in the ass, but, like, also that they're gonna feel like they don't have the same kind of, like, connection with their siblings because of that.
No, so we would. I'm having a third.
If you were, you probably just want to, like, make sure it's going to be completely just like not even in the same season.
Yeah, no, we're definitely not. But we've joked about it. Like people, every Thanksgiving, people ask us, like, "Are you gonna get pregnant again?" Because that's when we got pregnant the week of Thanksgiving both times. All
right, so you know what? I feel like this is one of those things that we might be able to talk about forever and a day.
Oh, 100% is.
So I'm sure that there are going to be questions and follow-up questions and things that are going to come up that we might want to do like a second kind of episode revisit this situation. But, you know, like I don't want to leave you guys high and dry. I don't want to give you nothing to manifest. So, like I said, the first thing that I would always recommend, and that is one of like the introduction to manifestation, is the change thing.
So you gotta start picking up your change.
You will see that in some way money will come back to you, and if it's not in a job way, it'll be in a way for you to just somehow come up in a financial way.
Yeah, any sort of unexpected money. Like if like something as simple as like your mom bought you a coffee. Thank you, universe, more please. Like always, thank you, universe, more please.
Right.
Acknowledge the abundance and that you're grateful for it, and that's when you have
live
to
in that vibe.
Yeah.
And like have some sort of word ritual feeling that comes up that you'll say in that moment, and what it's going to do is it's going to put the universe's antenna and lookout for you, and it's you're going to have just like a streamline to money. Yeah. People usually like that, and that's usually where like
start noticing the little things, the free things. Notice those too, because that's money.
Yeah, it's gonna be like yes, thank you. So that's usually what gets people's radar up on manifesting.
For sure.
Number 2, come up with some kind of like writing practice where like you have like a 3-thing list, what you want, but you're gonna write it like it's already yours, like. I'm so happy that I am living my best life. I own my favorite dream.
I have my new dream car. I got my new dream job. I am working as a blank.
Like it's already yours.
Yeah. And then how you're gonna get it.
Right. You're gonna write something that you're willing to sacrifice, do, be consistent on, change, whatever. That's gonna help you get there.
Like for example, I'm in the best shape of my life. I've lost 50 pounds is your manifestation. And then how are you going to get there? I've committed to 3 days a week at the gym.
And it doesn't have to be the most crazy thing. What those things have to be are things you're going to actually do.
Yeah.
And stay consistent.
Don't go crazy.
And you're going to sign it. Beep. In some way to close off that deal with the universe, and is going to be to just do something to close out that deal. And just, you know what? Let us know.
Yeah, what are you manifesting
Does it
these
work?
days?
You know? And I'm going to say that, like, you'll be like, okay, yeah, manifestation is real, the law of attraction. And it's just, I feel like when people want to manifest, they either have the idea that, like, you have to be doing the absolute most, it has to be super intricate, there have to be candles involved, you have to get, like, the neighbors there.
And rituals.
And it's just, like, it doesn't have to be the most complicated, it just has to be...
No, I wrote all mine down the other night on my sketch pad with a permanent marker. Like, I didn't have a pen or a notebook, I just grabbed my sketch pad and a marker. It doesn't have to be crazy.
It doesn't have to be, like, a specific notebook, like,
Yeah.
But it's, like, if that's what's going to make you feel like the universe is going to pick up on what you're putting down, then do it. But, like, you don't have to say the most, you don't have to do the most. It's the intention and belief.
Yeah, you gotta believe it.
That you're
worthy of whatever it is that you're manifesting.
And what's yours is yours. What is meant for you is meant for you. And it's already yours. On that note, like and subscribe. Follow us on our socials.
Keep an eye out for TikToks that I'm hopefully going to start doing, because last time I tried doing it was a hot mess. So I'm going to try to do more. But other than that, we will see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.